Many of those questions are now begged by the publication of the Tees Works accounts, the first year of those accounts. Have you read those accounts?
I have not.
Are you familiar with what they say?
Broadly familiar, yes.
So, as you all know, the piece of land which is on the maps here, 110 acres has basically been bought by a company, 90% owned by friends and close associates of Lord Houchin at £1 an acre. £1 an acre, that's 110 acres. There was then a leasing deal and some rights over scrap metal on the site. That together means that the company, 90% owned by these associates, has a turnover of £143 million and about £50 million in profit in 1 year that has largely now gone out to these private shareholders. In your view, at first blush, does that sound like best value was secured for taxpayers?
I can't answer that question, as you know, because while this inquiry is going on, what I mustn't do is preempt or end run its conclusions. Separately, as I mentioned to Ian, I am a huge champion of what Ben Houchin has done. Were I in any other role other than this one, I would be more than happy to mount not just a defence, but a vigorous and energetic defence of the approach that he has taken throughout. But serious issues have been raised. Ian and you have articulated them. We take them seriously, and that is why we want the report to do its work properly and then conclude. And I can't, and I know it's frustrating for me, as it must be for the committee. I can't, before, what you were inviting me to do, and a perfectly legitimate question, of course, is to say,
it's a simple question.
It's to look at the headline on a press report from a trial.
It's not a press report, it's a set of company accounts, and what it says is that in 1 year, a company that's bought 110 acres for £1 an acre is now turning over 143 million and shoveling 50 million pounds out to private shareholders in profits. And I guess my question to you is, are you confident that we have secured best value for taxpayers? Let me put the question another way. Have you got full confidence in the governance of Tees Works Limited today?
Again, you're asking me a question about this particular issue, which an investigation is currently looking at in detail. From this committee's point of view, perhaps excessive detail. To ask me to preempt it would be, well, it's legitimate to ask, but it would be wrong for me to preempt it.
Okay, well, let me ask you whether you've got full confidence in Lord Houchin's conduct in relation to this matter.
I do, yes. I have the highest regard for him. But what I don't want to do is, by anything that I say, to preempt the conclusions of the investigation. I can speak on a personal level.
You can.
And I can say that I have the
You're even protected by parliamentary privilege here.
I have the highest regard for Ben in all of my observations and dealings with him. I think that he is a first-rate public servant who's been responsible for the economic transformation of the Tees Valley, and he is a great and visionary leader in local government.
You must accept when there are such heightened concerns about, for example, the PPE contracts, when we have a deal like this that appears to be routing £50 million in profit on a very strange deal that has released 110 acres for £1 an acre, there are real concerns about whether taxpayer interest has been safeguarded. And my question to you is, do you have full confidence in whether the arrangements have secured best value for taxpayers?